Hello, Green Spring. We're back in the studio, and with me now is Uvonne, Andoh, the volunteer program coordinator. And even though we don't do a lot of volunteering right now, I think we do something, or we could do something. Good morning, Uvonne.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine,
Good.
thanks. So you tell us what's going on with volunteers, or what's going on with you, as you do not have a very active department right now.
Absolutely.
Right?
So like we all know, because of this whole COVID, volunteering has to be on hold. Then that's for both IL volunteers and for external volunteers. So right now the volunteering, program is not moving as it should, but that does not mean that, there are not other opportunities for residents to just be active and doing something in the community. One thing that I can tell my volunteers, whether you're an active volunteer, whether you're a resident who wish to do something while you're home, is write letters, write notes to our Garden Ridge residents, because they can use that a lot. They don't have the opportunity as our IL residents do in moving freely. So just writing letters, just saying thinking about you, wishing them well, and you can just drop the letters off at the front desk and it will get to Garden Ridge. Another thing you can do too right here in IL is just check on your neighbor, and also make sure to maintain that 6 feet, that social distancing. If you have a neighbor or you have a friend who is not as active, this is the time that you need to check up on them to see how they're doing. You can even give them a phone call, send emails, do something, while we're
That's what
here.
I find. I think you're absolutely right. It's so important to stay connected, and particularly for people who may not be so fluid in the electronic media that we just talked about the segment before, and who feel really locked in right now.
Yes,
to just, like you said, either write if you prefer writing, or just give them a quick phone call. It doesn't have to be an hour or the rest of the day, just saying, I was thinking of you, or is everything all right?
Yeah,
and
I see that
think it
happening
makes a
too.
big difference that people feel that at least they are on somebody's radar screen.
Absolutely,
right?
it does, because it's about so much that you can do in your apartment. You can't watch TV. Well, some people do like watching TV all day, but at some point you will get bored. So just make sure that you're moving around, make sure that you're checking up on your neighbor, make sure that you're just having some creative things to do for the meantime.
And the neighbor includes our friends over in Garden Ridge.
Well, yes.
So
you
if you, I said before, if you like the television, if you like the telephone, you call somebody over there.
Yes.
And they will probably be happy, because they can't have visitors. They are locked in their little room. It's really much harder than for us over here.
And even with activities, they can't come out to do activities.
Activities are not happening,
They're not
right?
happening. So just them hearing your voice, and if you're a resident who typically go to Garden Ridge to see your friend, just give them a call, like you said, so at least they know that somebody is thinking about them, that they're being loved and not left out.
That's
because they can't see their family members, and probably
they can't see anybody really, right? Except for the staff.
Absolutely, yeah. So just use your creative ideas and just do something, just not only for yourself but for other residents as well.
I find that often I have postcards that were left over from some calendar or from some mailing that comes into your house, and I'm like, now I have this stack of postcards. What the heck am I going to do with that? Well, this might be a nice time to just write a little note, not much, but a little note, and get it over. And you said you can drop that off at your own front desk.
Drop it off at your front desk, and when the mailman can't come, we'll just give it to him to take to Garden Ridge, because even as staff, we are trying to limit that back and forth from Garden Ridge to here well. But I know the gentleman from the USPS, he's able to deliver mail, so just drop it off. And right now we actually have outside volunteers, mostly elementary school kids, who want to write letters to our Green Spring residents. So what they're doing is they're also writing letters and they're mailing it in, and then from Garden Ridge, we'll distribute it to the residents. So the kids
who are at home also, and who are getting on their parents' nerves. They get
eating up
to
all
sit.
the food. they get to also, you know, do something for our residents. Just thinking about you, you know, just putting a smile on their face.
Yes.
Because this is the time that is needed for everybody to come together to support, you know, and just to think about everybody else as well, not only ourselves, but checking in and checking up on others.
Now, speaking about coming together, the other day, or for several days, I've seen you sit at the table here at the door of Village Square.
Yes.
Not a usual place for the volunteer program person to sit. So what have you been up to?
So, you know, we are all utilizing all the staff. We're doing as much as we can to make sure that, you know, we are helping the residents. So I have been a concierge. So pretty much what my responsibility is any packages, whether it's groceries, whether it's from Amazon. What we are doing is we do not allow the vendors to come in. We just want to limit that contact from outside, you know, vendors and residents. So as the staff member, we are taking the packages, the groceries, and delivering it straight or directly to the residents. And we
so you are the contact between the outside world and us residents.
Absolutely.
You take the packages from the door, and I think you had various carts there. From the curb, from outside the door. From
outside, yes. We take those packages and then we deliver it to the residents. And then we also, as a concierge, we're also making sure that we're checking people's IDs, people's badge, people's passes before they can come in. So if you don't have the proper identification or even a pass, we might have to send you back.
So that happens? People are trying to come because of what? Because they want to visit and they didn't know?
Right. In the beginning, it was happening a lot, but now there are more, you know, restriction on who can come in. And even if it's for a family member just to say hello to a resident, we can't allow that because we are limiting that, you know, contact. And it's just for the safety of our resident, that precaution that we are taking. So even if a family member comes with groceries, they have to be outside and we take those groceries and deliver it to the residents, and it's all that extra precaution.
I think it's hard in a way, but it's why we're still well here at Green Spring. I think you all are doing a great job.
Thank you.
So I thank you and all the others who are reassigned from their regular job.
And
I guess in a way it's good for you because you still have a job.
We still have a job. That's because a lot of people don't. So we are still grateful, regardless of what we are doing. You know, whether it's outside of our job description, we still have a job. So that is a good thing about that. And you know, just walking around, I see thank you notes on residents' door, and it makes a big difference.
I'm glad.
We are happy to see those, you know, notes on the door. Thank you for, you know, what the staff are doing. So thank you to all the residents who are saying thank you as well.
And thank you to Sharon Dreyer who initiated that.
Oh, okay.
And I printed one of those out too and have it on my ledge because it's such a good idea. We sure are grateful for what you do and how you keep us safe. And it's good to hear that it goes both ways, right? Yes. Well, thank you for coming in today. It's great to see you, and I'm glad that you had some ideas for our residents to still volunteer, even though in-person volunteering cannot happen right now. We can still make sure, whatever way you can think of, we connect to each other.
Absolutely.
And so I wish you well, thank you for being at the door and watching out for us.